Hello, everyone, and welcome to the return of the Ruthless Aggression Era podcast. We've sort of been off the air for a little bit. The holidays and work and all of that. It's kind of been hectic lately, but we are back, and we are back with Bad Blood 2004. And my guest tonight is none other than the Don himself, Sal Cusmano. How are you, man?
I am good. Thank you for having me on. And if you've been gone for a while, oh dear God, has my show been woof? It's. I was actually just looking at it. You know when the last time I did my show was
When,
August.
oh my man.
I know. I really need to get back into the swing of things.
But yeah, tonight we're going to be talking about Bad Blood 2004, and I believe you were actually on the Bad Blood 2003 episode, I believe.
I was looking through our chat log, and I remember seeing Bad Blood 2003 in there.
Yeah, and this was actually like the final Bad Blood event that they've done, at least as of this year. Maybe they'll bring it back.
I wouldn't mind them bringing back the name because it's not a bad name for a pay per view.
Oh, I love the name.
Yeah, it's a good name. Oh God, I remember
Yeah.
Bad Blood 2003 now. Christ, that show was bad. Holy crap, that show. My God, that was so bad.
I take it you weren't a fan of Eric Bischoff eating Mae Young pie, I suppose you could call
No,
it.
no, I was not the biggest fan of that. On the plus side, we did get this was the show that had that awesome Scott Steiner botch, right? Like where he slipped.
Yeah, it was the one where he tries to go for a dive on test and he ends up slipping on the apron.
I know that was awesome. I mean, I won't say it saved that show, but like it at least made it a little bit enjoyable.
Yeah, it was one of the few entertaining things on that show.
Yep.
I mean, I did like a few matches on that show. I liked Flair and Michaels. I liked Goldberg, Jericho, Nash, and Triple H. So I actually really liked, to be honest.
It was better than this cell match, I'll say that much.
Oh yeah, yeah, and we'll get to that in quite a few. Bad Blood 2004, and I would normally talk about the set, but there's really no reason to because it's the exact same set as last year.
Yeah.
I don't think they changed one thing about this.
No, I remember looking at it and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I saw this last time, but you
I
know.
mean, it's a decent set, but
Yeah,
I
it's not
do
a
wish
bad
that they would
set.
have done something different with it, especially since the last pay per view was that awesome Judgment Day 2004 set with the graveyard and the crosses. So going from that to this is just so underwhelming.
Yeah. It's like I mean, you know something's gonna have to follow that awesome set, but like you could at least do something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, you're right. The set was very uninspired.
Yeah, and the theme song was interesting. The theme song was "Sold Me" by Seether. What'd you think about this song?
I actually enjoyed this song. I don't know too much of Seether. I know this song, the Broken song, which I'm pretty sure everyone's heard of, and Seether's cover of Christ, what is the name of that song now? Careless Whisper. Yes, Seether's cover
Yeah,
of Careless Whisper. I love that song so much. It is
same
great.
here. Yeah, I really like Seether. Like they're a good band. Like this is sort of before they got big.
Yeah.
Um, this was sort of the album before the album that got them big. But yeah, I do like this song as well. I think Headstrong is a better theme song for Bad Blood.
Yeah.
But overall, it was a good song. It did fit the show.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
Yep. So the first match on this show was La Resistance versus Edge and Chris Benoit for the tag team titles. And Chris Benoit doing double duty tonight. He has both a tag title match and a world title match here on this show.
Yes, he did, and I thought it was actually really good in this match.
Yeah, I actually thought this was a good opening match, even though a lot of resistance at this point in time are painfully irrelevant. Why
Sure.
are they the tag? Why are they the tag team champions? Why are they here?
Because Vince finds French Canadians funny.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they had to be at this point in time, because the whole France, the whole French thing had sort of died off at this point in time. So they had to be Quebec Canadians, and it doesn't quite work. Not that the French gimmick really worked anyway, but this one really doesn't work because it doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah. Although I will say, I kind of find it funny that they're supposed to be French Canadians and they're going up against two Canadians.
Yeah.
So,
although Benoit is now residing in Atlanta, Georgia, starting with this pay-per-view. Did you notice that?
Oh, yeah. Now that you mention, yeah, I didn't think about it at first, but now that you mention it, holy crap, you're right.
Yeah, I don't know if they had already started doing this by this point in time, or if this was the first time that they had done it. But this was the first time where William Garcia says now reside in Atlanta, Georgia, for Benoit, as to make Benoit appeal more to the American audience.
Huh. I wonder if people really care, because normally, when I hear the intros of where they're from, it kind of just blurs out for me. You know what I mean? It's more like white noise than anything.
Right.
Anyway, I actually like this match. Like you said, it was a good opener. I will say, hearing King and JR say Robert over and over and over again made me want to stab my eardrums. No, just stop. I get it. It's the gimmick. You don't need to say his name 5 million times.
Yeah, I did think this was a good opener. It was honestly better than I thought it was going to be. I thought this was a pretty cool little opening match.
Yeah, same here. I know the La Resistance is they've been called green in the past when they were younger. They're not really they're not really remembered as one of the great tag teams, but they were perfectly acceptable here. And I feel like Benoit and Edge really they showed their professionalism and they showed how good they were. I really liked Edge's chops, and Benoit was a great hot tag at the end, coming in with a bunch of suplexes. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
the reversal of Edge, reversing into a double neck breaker. I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah, that was a great spot. I mean, I really thought Edge played a really good. It's weird to say this because he was such a good heel, but he played a good face in peril in this match.
Yeah, this is that weird period in time where Edge came back as a face, and it didn't quite work.
Yeah, I mean, I really think Edge is more suited to being a heel than a face, but I will say in this match, he showed good face and peril stuff. So, I mean, it's weird.
Yeah, it really, really is. Especially by the time that SummerSlam rolls around, that's where it sort of all falls down. It's a shame because, Edge, I feel like if he didn't get injured, probably would have became champion.
Yeah,
but I think by the time Edge came back, so many things have changed in the landscape, the whole direction of the company had changed, and it just, I don't know, something about it just didn't quite mesh.
Yeah, no, you're probably right, and I feel like I think it. I don't know if it's his look or what. He has the sleazy, greasy blonde hair, long blonde hair. The facial hair and all that. Like, he kind of has that heel look a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, personally, I think it was them taking away the Rob Zombie song. That made it not work.
Yeah, that might have been it. But I mean, his Metalingus opening ain't bad.
Oh yeah. This is like pre-Metalingus. This was when Edge had to use the "You Think You Know Me" theme because the copyright on the Rob Zombie song had ran out.
And that is why you always check your copyright dates, kids.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh no.
So the finish of the match comes where Chris Benoit locks in the corporate crossface, and Kane makes an appearance and interferes and causes a DQ finish.
Yeah, that was the one thing I didn't really like about this match. Like, from a story perspective, right? You're gonna attack Benoit anyway. You don't want him to win the tag belts if you're Kane, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why not just attack him from the beginning? Like, I get why they don't do it from like a meta perspective, because that would be a bullshit way to start off your pay-per-view. But like, in story, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I can see what they were trying to do. They were trying to build up some heat for their match later on, because God knows it needs all the heat it needs at this point in time.
Yeah, no, it really. I mean, I like Kane. I think he's pretty good, but like, he was. I mean, other than like that brief spell in like what 2001, he was never really super over.
Right. And we'll talk about it more when we get to the actual match. But Kane at this point in time, it's just I don't know. I just don't buy him as a main event guy, at least anymore.
No,
Maybe after he unmasked, it would be a different story. But at this point in time, where after he got squashed by Taker at WrestleMania, and then he was just sort of doing nothing. And this is like on the verge of that awful Matt Hardy Lita storyline. It's just
oh
no,
god,
it doesn't work.
yeah, no. I mean, oh god, that story was so bad.
Yeah, it really was. I really don't want to talk about that when we get to it, like on like Vengeance and
Oh yeah,
SummerSlam and all that. God.
yeah. No, you're just like, it's like one of those things where like you see it, you know it's gonna have to be mentioned eventually, and you're just like, I'm just gonna push it back another week.
Yeah.
One, just like, oh god, I don't envy your task. Make like, if you want to have me on, I'll do it, but like, if you can at all spare me.
So yeah, overall, a good opening match.
Yeah, I thought the in ring was actually pretty good. The low resistance looked perfectly competent. Chris Benoit and Edge are very good at what they do.
Yeah, certainly. And so the next match on the card, see, and this is something I actually forgot about. I didn't realize he had made his debut around this time. I thought it was a little later on, but it's the podcast debut of Tyson Tomko.
Oh Christ!
Tyson Tomko versus Chris Jericho.
You see, you know how I'll let you guys in on a little secret. I originally found out about Tyson Tomko from TNA when I first started watching them. It was like I first saw him, I want to say at like mid 07. So like right before he left TNA for like one of the first times. Or yeah, right before then, because he was just gone in like early 2008 or late 2008. So, you know, I started seeing him pretty close before he left, and man, he did not stand out to me then. He I completely forgot he had been in WWE before that.
I think he has a cool look to him. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
he
pretty much about
does.
it, but he has a cool look.
Yeah, he. How to say this nicely? He is not on the caliber of an Edge in terms of in-ring prowess, nor is he on the caliber of a man of even Sylvain Garnier or Grenier, shall we say. I mean, he's a big guy. He's the prototypical John Laurinaitis signing. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, totally. Like the big muscular guy
Yeah.
who had a
And
cool look, and that's pretty much all he had.
yeah, the biggest thing that stood out to me about this match was that Jericho won with an enziguri.
Yeah, that is one thing that was weird around this time, where Jericho was using like a running enziguri as sort of like a non-official finisher at this point in time. Like, he was using that a lot to win matches around this time. That's something I always found very weird.
Yeah, I mean, I like an enziguri as much as the next guy. It's a really good move, especially when Christ, I can't remember the guy's name. One of the four pillars of all Japan. I think it was the guy who invented it. Was it Akiyama? I want to say it was Jun Akiyama, but don't quote me on that when he did it. Because it was just like a stiff ass enziguri. It was pretty much just like him getting his leg up and kicking you in the fucking head, and it was awesome. But like a finisher in the WWE in 2004, like really?
Yeah, like it is a bizarre finisher. Like this is pre the code breaker, so I guess
Yeah,
Jericho was trying to look for, I guess, sort of a quick
yeah,
finisher that wasn't like a submission.
yeah. And I mean, I remember seeing him debut the Code Breaker. Now that I feel like is a better move for him to be his
Yeah,
finisher. But
yeah, I
yeah.
totally agree with that.
Now I have a question for you. This was part of Jericho's ongoing storyline to try and like get a date with Stratus, right? Or was this post that?
This was sort of post that. Like this was sort of like the beginning of the end of that storyline. But this was post that. This was after Trisha turned heel and he was fighting off Christian, and then Tyson Tomko came in as Christian's bodyguard slash problem solver. So this is sort of near the end of that storyline, which honestly should have ended like a couple months prior to this. Like,
Good to know WWE.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
like the cow is just about empty at this point in time.
yeah. Good to know WWE was dragging out their storylines back then too. But man, yeah, this match. I mean, I'll say this for it: it was nice and short. It was only like 6 minutes, so like it wasn't terrible. It wasn't good. It was a 6 minute match, second on the card. I mean, everything in its favor I will say is it was short like it should have been, and it was where it should have been on the card.
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought this was a decent match. Like, it wasn't anything special. This probably could have been on Raw, and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
But for what it was, I thought it was a decent enough match.
Oh yeah, no. Like there are things I will complain far more about on this show than this match.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this match, it wasn't very good, but like I can complain about something a lot more than this. This was fine for what it was. I mean, the good guy won. At least I'm pretty sure Jericho was the good guy in this. I mean,
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was the face.
yeah. So I mean, it was fine. It wasn't anything special, but you know, like not everything is going to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one final note on Tomko before we move on to the next match. Apparently, before he went to WWE, he was a bodyguard for Limp Bizkit. So no wonder WWE hired him.
Oh my god, yeah. I wonder if it was Limp Bizkit who introduced them to WWE. Like or like Vince, or like they get Limp Bizkit on, and Vince sees Tomko and he's like, I need to sign him. I cannot do a Vince impression. That was so bad.
Limp Bizkit, Doty's favorite band in the whole
I know.
world. So
I know.
it makes so much sense
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I think they might have gotten kicked to the curb for Flo Rida at this point, though.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. All right, so overall, decent match.
Yeah.
So the next match, Randy Orton versus Shelton Benjamin for the Intercontinental Championship.
I'll say this. This was probably the most entertaining I've seen a Randy Orton be in a long, long time. Because current Randy Orton is doing nothing for me.
Yeah, like he's pulling masks off superstars, and that's about it.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, for me, this is match of the night. Easily match of the night.
Yeah, I mean, you have a really solid Shelton Benjamin who's always a really, at the very least, like on his bad day, he'll give you a 7 out of 10. On his good day, you can get you like an 8 or a 9. And, you have Randy Orton who he's solid. I mean, he's always very crisp in ring. And I mean, this is when Randy was actually interesting. Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, it was weird watching this because, like, based on crowd reactions, he was getting more cheers than Shelton, which that ain't good, but at least he's getting reactions.
Yeah, like that's what surprised me a little bit. Like near the end of this match, Randy Orton was winning people over.
Yeah.
Like they were cheering for him.
Yeah.
Like when Shelton Benjamin like locks into figure 4 and Ric Flair, people actually boo it.
I know, I remember that. I will say it was actually kind of cool seeing that sequence with Shelton going just ape shit on Ric Flair. Like he beats him up, he puts him in the figure 4, and he's pinning Orton. And I'm just like, fuck yeah, babyface getting shit done. Like he didn't get the win there, but like, it was cool to see.
Yeah, I love that spot so much.
Yeah, that was
great.
Spot. That was great.
Like Ric Flair comes like halfway through the match.
Yep, puts Orton's foot on the ropes to break up the pin. And I mean, I thought these two had some good chemistry. I actually like the way it started with Orton trying to do an interview and him going off on the crowd, and then Shelton comes out and he's just like, you're out here in your gear, I got my gear on, we might as well start this thing. So, I mean, I hate to be mean to Shelton, but like his promo delivery wasn't the best. I mean, it was fine, but it could have been a lot better.
Yeah. Like he was sort of just starting out as a solo guy. But yeah, he was just never that charismatic, I don't think.
No. I mean, I feel like he has some charisma to him. I just feel like his charisma never worked in terms of mic work.
So yeah, that was a pretty good match. It really was a good match. For me, the best match of the night, easily.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Only downside I would give to it, and it's not even really a downside. Like I would have liked to see Orton win with the RKO, but he won with a roll up. But that's like being so damn nitpicky that I'm probably being unfair.
Yeah, I mean, I think for this particular match, it works, especially with him sort of like using the tights for the win.
Yeah,
so
no,
I think it works.
No, it definitely works. Like I said, I'm being way too damn nitpicky with it.
So the next match, Victoria versus Trish Stratus versus Gail Kim versus Alita in a fatal 4-way for the women's championship.
Yeah. I actually really like this match. Like it was
Same here.
It was 5 minutes, but damn it, they did a lot of shit in 5 minutes and it was fun. Like,
yeah, it really was. It really was. Like, really, my only gripe about this match is that it really should have been longer.
Yeah, You could have easily given this, like, you could have taken off 5 minutes of the next match and easily put it onto this one.
Or like 20 minutes of the main event.
Oh God, yeah, no, they really should have done that. But like, I will say this, like, this is what happens when you put this, like, I guess I should say it like this. For everyone who says like this era didn't have any good women's wrestlers, no, watch this match. I mean, you have Trish Stratus, bona fide legend, Lita, bona fide legend, Victoria, bona fide legend, and Gail Kim, bona fide legend. These were all very talented women's wrestlers, and it shows. Like, they did some fun ass shit.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness to them, though, on the other brand, they had Dawn Marie and Tori Wilson, so I can see why they would say
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Like, never let it be said I'm saying this era was great or anything. I'm just saying, like, they had some good wrestlers. But no, you're right.
Yeah.
Christ. Oh, God. Dawn Marie and... oh, God, no. No. Shit. But yeah, no, I love this match. I especially loved Gail Kim going like full submission mode, like halfway through it. And I mean, Lita was super over.
Mm-hmm. I mean, after the storyline she's about to go through, she might not be.
Oh, Christ.
That's a story for another podcast.
Yeah.
But I did like the spot where she sort of does like a poetry motion using Trish. And after that, Trish is like, "Did you just jump on my back?"
Yes, I like that. I remember that. That was great. And I'm just like, yeah. I also liked how Trish sold her back being hurt, because like usually when someone does the poetry and motion off someone, like in a tag team match, they don't sell it because, like, you know, they get ready for it and all that. But in this one, she took it, but she wasn't ready for it and it hurt. And I'm like, yeah, it's small and it's probably inconsequential in the grand scheme of things, but it shows me like good psychology and stuff. And it means I won't nitpick.
Yeah.
But no, I really, really like this match. I thought all four of these women really gave it their all. I guess my one complaint was, like, I felt Victoria, the champion, was kind of like the fourth wheel in this match.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, there wasn't much to Victoria. At this time, like, as a face, I just thought she was really bland. Just the transformation from psycho heel to dancing face was out of nowhere, and it never really made any sense.
Yeah, and like
she just got attacked by Molly Holly during a tag match on Raw, and out of nowhere, she's suddenly a face.
Right. So they did the whole Randy Orton face turn thing, where you don't change your ways at all. It's just other bad guys attack you, and now you're a face. Got it.
Yeah, pretty much like that. And God, I don't want to talk about that Randy Orton title run. I really don't.
Yeah, you're gonna get to it eventually. It's actually coming up. Christ, is it coming up?
Yeah, in a few weeks, because next week is Great American Bash, then it's Ric Flair's book, then Vengeance, then SummerSlam. So it's a few weeks away.
Well, thank goodness for that. You still got a few weeks before you have to bite the bullet.
Yeah, even though I actually do like SummerSlam 2004 for the most part, but it's not a perfect show.
No, and plus you have to start with that whole Randy title run thing, which, I mean, that title run should have been something really special, but good Lord, was it just blah.
Yeah. Yeah, like both world titles were in a bad place around that time. Like JBL as WWE champion, Randy Orton as world champion.
Oh God! Thank Christ we had Batista and John Cena to save us from those respective fates. Because good fucking Lord, why the hell was, like, I'd hate to get on a tangent, but why the hell was JBL World WWE Champ for 280 days?
H didn't want to work Tuesdays. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, fucking Christ, Hunter. We had to endure your reign of terror. I thought that was the worst thing you did. No. 280J WWE champ JBL. That was the worst thing you did to us.
Yeah, like I would much rather just Reign of Terror over JBL as Reign of Terror.
Yeah. I would too. I mean, I'll say what you want about Triple H. Like, I'll say he's overrated and that he's nowhere near. He's not as good as like he himself probably thinks he is. Triple H on his worst day is still better than JBL.
I would definitely agree with that.
Oh, Christ. Oh no.
So Lita hits a DDT on I think Victoria, and then
Yes.
Trish ends up rolling up Lita for the win. So Trish is the new champion.
Yep. And she just set the record with that win at that time as a 5-time women's champ. So I mean, good for Trish. I thought this match was pretty good.
Oh yeah, same here. And then the next match.
Oh God.
Eugene versus Coach.
Do we need to talk about this match?
I mean, I guess we can go ahead and just talk about Eugene, the character in general, because I don't think I've had a chance to talk about it yet. Eugene made a quick cameo in the Backlash, but we haven't really had a chance to talk about the character of Eugene yet. This is his first big role on WTV, so I guess we can go ahead and talk about it. Eugene was a character who was mentally handicapped, and storyline nephew of Eric Bischoff was managed by William Regal. And I think maybe, at least at this point in time, I feel like maybe one of the most controversial characters WWE had ever done up to this point.
Yeah. I mean, it was a character that I am personally not a fan of. I have family who have some mental issues and stuff. So I understand why some people do like it and why some people who do have mental issues kind of see like a character like that as a good representation. For me, it always felt like they were laughing at him and stuff. And so it was kind of a bit off putting, but like it's so hard to do a character like this right. And it's something I really want to trust WWE with.
Yeah.
I mean, like, is it the worst thing they've ever done? No. They've done some worse things than this, but like, I really feel like this character needed a lot, like such a different representation or presentation than what it got.
Yeah, I mean, I was never really that big a fan of Eugene. I thought he was just kind of okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree with you. Like it did feel like they were sort of laughing at him a little bit. Like
Yeah.
he definitely had his moments a little bit,
Oh
but I
yeah.
think I do think that the character probably could have been a bit better handled than what ultimately ended up happening.
Yeah. And I mean, good Lord, this match he was in.
Yeah, I mean, because this was because I think Eugene, the guy that played Eugene, Nick Dinsmore, sort of did like an out of character interview a while back, saying that I wanted to get called up, and I think he like pitched this idea of a character who sort of like not really being able to like tie his own shoes or anything like that, but he could go in the ring. And you can
Yeah.
kind of see that. And this was at that point in time where Vince apparently wanted to get back to character-based wrestling, and you could definitely tell that with sort of the characters that they were coming up with. Like this was when you got characters like Simon Dean and the
Yeah.
Boogeyman and guys like
Bizarrely.
that,
Oh
the
God.
Dicks and
Oh God. The
the
text.
Heartthrobs, guys like that.
Yep. It was. Oh God. Remember Deuce and Domino?
Oh yeah, God, yeah.
The fucking
Uh,
greasers in like 2006 and 7. My God. I mean,
yeah, that's how you can tell it's a Vince gimmick. That's a
yes.
50s tag team.
Yes. I mean, like, I can't lie. I kind of love that because it's just so random and so out there and so nonsensical. It's just like, I kind of have to respect that because it makes no sense whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it really was a character. Yes, you're right. This was a time when Vince was going back to character based gimmicks. I mean, trying to think, did any of them work? So I was going to say some of them works, most of them didn't. I'm trying to think, did any of them ever work?
Um, None that I can really think of off the top of my head. The
Yeah.
Boogeyman, at least he's memorable, I guess, and
Yeah.
he is under a Legends contract, so I guess it did work out.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, sure. I guess we can give chalk one up for the boogeyman. I mean, he's weird. He was weird. He was creepy. Well, not creepy, but like he was weird. And he randomly showed up and did shit every now and again, but
Yeah, I mean,
hey,
until the president of the United States buried him at
yeah.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, I remember that. Christ. I remember watching that Mania with my friends. It was actually a fun time.
Yeah, I actually like that Mania a lot.
Oh yeah, no, that
Actually,
that Mania was actually really good overall. It was my first wrestling show I ever watched, and it made me the fan I am today. And as you can
but
tell,
yeah,
I'm trying to put off talking about this freaking Eugene match. Christ,
yeah,
Christ, this was bad.
yeah. It really was. Like I can see what they were trying to do. It was exactly the match I expected it to be, but I just couldn't get into it. Like I don't know, like a lot of this match just didn't work.
No, it didn't. I mean, Eugene defeating Jonathan Coachman. Like, I mean, you already know you're not going to get a good match out of this just by reading the participants list. And I'm not saying Nick
Yeah.
Dinsmore is not a talented wrestler. He most certainly is a very solid wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
But when you take a guy who's playing a savant type gimmick and a guy who who is not a trained wrestler and Jonathan Coachman, this is going to be a comedy match.
Yeah, totally.
And this is not going to be a very good comedy match for most people.
Yeah, I mean, I do appreciate like JR before the match trying to build this up like a big deal. It's like Eugene is undefeated here in WWE. Jonathan Coachman is undefeated on pay-per-view. Something's got to give. Like
Yeah,
really, like I
yeah,
appreciate what he's
yeah,
trying to do, but at this point, Eugene has had like what 2 matches,
yeah,
maybe 3, and
yeah,
then Coach has also had 3 pay-per-view matches.
yeah. It's like, JR, I love you. I appreciate what you're trying to do. Just cut the shit, man. Like, I feel like the worst thing about this match is it went like 3 minutes longer than the women's match. Like, that is
Mm-hmm.
such a crime.
Because it is 7 minutes, like 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, like, why in the hell did this go like 7.5 minutes?
Yeah, like it really did not need to go as long as it did. It probably could have gone like maybe 4 minutes,
Yeah,
maybe that.
yeah. I feel like 4 minutes tops would be good. I would have this like 2, 3 minutes. Like, comedy is supposed to be punchy, Vince. It's supposed to be short and quick. You don't stretch it out a joke. That doesn't make jokes better. It makes them worse.
Mm-hmm.
That match was so bad. And the worst part is, like, I'm not even sure this was the worst thing on this show. Like, this was bad, but Christ, it was short compared to the main event.
Yeah.
Ugh. Was not a fan of this, Matt. Was not a fan of this.
Yeah, I also forgot Garrison Cade was affiliated with Coach.
I completely forgot who Garrison Cade was.
Yeah, he ended up becoming a Lance Cade in a team with
Okay.
Trevor Murdoch and all that. Like he was part of a tag team with Mark Jindrak prior
Yep.
to this. Then Jindrak went to SmackDown, did a narcissist gimmick, and got released.
Yep. And then he went to CMLL for a bit as Marco Corleone was their world champion for a bit, and then he vacated it. I have no idea where he's at now. That's the history of Mark Jindrak. So
So like at one point, Coach brings out a woman with a plate full of cookies to distract Eugene.
yeah,
That's all I got on that.
Yeah, it was just it was a. I feel like the kindest way I can describe this match is it was a thing that happened, and it, depending on your sense of humor, you might have found it funny. That's me being incredibly kind. Now, me being incredibly mean would say this was a giant waste of 7 minutes with some very, very lowbrow humor.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there you go, I guess. It happened. It's 7 minutes of my life I'm never getting back, Matt.
So the next match, Chris Benoit versus Kane for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I wanted to like this match.
Honestly, yeah, same here. I really wanted to like this match, but these two just do not have chemistry together, and the storyline going into it doesn't really make any sense at all. Like Kane says, like, I want what you have, Benoit. I want the world title. Like I envy you, Benoit, because I live in nightmares, and you live a dream life. You live a normal life, which became sort of awkward a few years later.
Yeah. And I mean, not to mention, like, at the start, it's like, I want what you have. I want the world title. That's really all you need, you know?
Yeah.
Chris has a big shiny belt that says, I am the best in the world. Great. That is all we need here. You have a normal life. I live in nightmares. Like, no, why are you adding that? That doesn't make it deeper. It just makes it dumber. Like I listened to a Brian and Vinny podcast many moons ago. And one of the things they brought up was the fact that AJ was feuding with Christopher Daniels and Samoa Joe. And at that time, Daniels and AJ were like friends and there was some friction. And Vinny said the same thing pretty much. He said, why can't the storyline be AJ has a big shiny belt and Daniels wants it? That is a question I always ask when there's a championship match and things get like really convoluted and stupid. I feel like it's the best question to ask. Why can't it just be, I have a big shiny belt that says I am the best in the world and somebody else wants it? You know what I mean?
Right.
But nope, we have to get all like soul painy and stuff like that. So
yeah, I mean, there's just I don't know, like this match is just there's just nothing to it. It really, I don't know, like I don't want to say it's boring per se, but I don't know. I couldn't get into this match. Like I like both guys in the match as wrestlers. I think both guys are good wrestlers, but they just don't have any chemistry together.
No, I think the biggest issue is like they're different kind of styles. Like Kane is more Kane is like I don't want to say slower and prodding, but like he's not going to be really fast paced. And I mean, neither is Benoit, but Benoit has some speed to him. But like Kane is a guy who does like high impact big moves, and Benoit's a grappler.
Yeah,
So like
the big red machine Kane has a smash mouth kind of style.
Yep. And Benoit's a guy who's gonna put you in a bunch of holds. So I mean, like that's not gonna those two don't really conducively work together as much as you would want them to.
Mm-hmm.
Like so I mean that's gonna be an issue with it. I will say I liked close to the end. Like if they showed any chemistry at all during this match, it was that when Kane went for a flying arm off the top rope and Benoit caught him and put him in the crossface. I thought that was actually a really good spot. But that was like it really. Here's the thing. I watched this match at like 2:45 today. All right. That is literally the only thing I remember from that match.
Yeah, same here. Honestly, same here. And I really liked the finish to this match.
Yeah.
Kane going for his signature diving clothesline. Benoit counters it into a crossface. But Benoit it's sort of like the story of the entire match, really. It's just Benoit, he can't make Kane tap out. He has to pin him, and he ends up rolling him up for the pin.
Yep. And I mean, like, hey, that was the finish was good. I will say that for this match. The finish was good. But that is literally all I remember about that. But I mean, I guess if there's one thing you're supposed to remember, it's the finish. So like see, that's the thing about this match. Like, it's so weird. Like, I hardly remember any of it. It really wasn't all that interesting, but the finish was pretty good.
Yeah, after the match, I thought that was a rather interesting kind of interview that they did. Like they were sort of like recapping the points of the match. Like I don't think I've ever seen them do that before with a superstar.
No, I don't think they did that either. And I mean, that was fine. I mean,
it felt like they were trying to go for like a sports center kind of vibe.
yeah, I do like how they've done that a couple of times since then, like recently, like how on some SmackDowns, like after a match, Renee Young would go out to the ring and interview a person. So, like, it's an interesting idea. Sometimes it works better than other times. I thought it was all right here.
Yeah, if only Renee Young was the one interviewing Benoit here. Instead, we have freaking Blandy McBland, Todd Grisham doing it.
Yeah.
That's another story.
Yeah. Speaking of Sports Center, didn't Todd Grisham eventually go to ESPN?
I think he did. I think he and Coach at one point were on ESPN.
Yes. And now, is Coach back? What's going on? Or did he finally get replaced by Renee?
I think he got replaced by Renee. I think Coach just does like pay-per-view panels now.
Yes, finally. He was so bad. And I actually defended him coming out to the commentary saying, I remember watching him before and he was all right. I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, apparently Todd Grisham is a UFC broadcaster now, which is just, I don't even know what to make of that.
Jesus. That's wow. I'm not sure what kind of career movement that is. It feels more like you just went from one to another. So I guess like sideways movement.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
So overall, sort of a disappointing match. I thought it was. It just, I really feel like it should have been so much better than it actually was.
Yeah, I thought it could have been better. It should have been better. The ending was good. I will say that. At least it had that going for it. But speaking of matches that could have and should have been better, my friend.
Oh my God. I guess it's time to talk about it. Let's move on to the main event of this show. the match that this whole show was pretty much built around. Triple H versus Shawn Michaels in Hell in a Cell.
Yay!
Now this match from bell to bell is 47 minutes. 47 minutes.
Yep.
It is the longest Hell in a Cell match today, I believe.
Oh, dear God.
Like, I think that Cell match with Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon comes close, but I don't think it quite eclipses this. Yeah, because Owens and Shane was only 39 minutes. This was 47, so it just barely makes it as the longest Hell in a Cell match to date.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and yes, it indeed is the longest Hell in a Cell match. Fucking Christ. It is just. I remember when you told me about, you mentioned that the show we were going to do in the main event. And I said, this match is either going to be really good or really bad. There's like really no in between on this.
Yeah.
It sadly did not fall towards the really good end of the spectrum.
Yeah, like, honestly, I think it's one of the weaker matches that they've had.
Same here. It was long. It was plotting at a bunch of points. I mean,
It was repetitive too. Like, it was really repetitive.
It was. Like you mentioned before, you could have easily cut out 20 minutes of this match, given it to the women, and I think both matches would have been better for it. Like, good Lord, we talk about self-indulgent Triple H epics. This
is self-indulgent. Oh my God, this is self-indulgent. And I like Triple H. I'm a Triple H fan.
Yeah.
But even I think this is really self-indulgent. This is very ego maniacal. I don't know, maniacal, but
Yeah.
it's very egocentric, I guess is a better term to describe it.
Yes. Like, I get that this match is going on last. It's a big deal. It's a blood feud. It's a grudge match. I get it.
It was supposed to be like the final match between these two. And they end up facing off like a few months later at Taboo Tuesday.
We're not supposed to remember that.
Honestly, I actually really love that match at Taboo Tuesday between Triple H and Shawn Michaels. I love that match.
That match had to have been better than this one. I'll probably end up watching that. Probably end up watching that later to watch the taste out of this one out of my mouth. But let me explain something to you, all right? So I, for reasons we don't need to get into, don't have the network right now. So I was watching this on Daily Motion because I'm a dirty criminal like that. And while watching it, I think I missed about 10 minutes because the full event wasn't uploaded, but I got enough out of it to do this show. Like, I was able to piece together the missing parts, except for like the 10 minutes of this match. Even with 10 minutes of this match missing, I missed nothing of value. The story of the match was still so coherent and fine with those 10 minutes missing that it astounds me that they let this go 47 and a half minutes.
Yeah, and I think that is like the biggest fatal flaw of this match, because this match is 47 minutes.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it to be 47 minutes. It really isn't. Like, I get why it is. It's supposed to be the end of a blood feud. It's a Hell in a Cell match. It's between Triple H and Shawn Michaels, two bona fide legends. But just there's no reason for it to be so long. Like, this could have been maybe 25 minutes, maybe 30 at the most.
Yeah.
There was no reason for it to be 47 minutes.
No, there isn't. And like I said, when I can miss 10 minutes and it does not impact your match's story in any way, you have way too much in there. And like, I mean, there was some stuff I liked about it. Like, I liked the fact that they were allowed to have some color. I mean, I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of people like bleeding all over the place all the time, but like, I feel like in terms of blood feuds, having a little bit of color can liven things up. I like
Mm-hmm.
that. I mean, I thought there might have been a little bit too much color because those guys will blade for anything, but I liked having that. I thought,
Especially Sean.
yeah, oh Christ. You give Sean a reason, an excuse to blade, and he will go all out with it, that freaking maniac.
Yeah,
And I
like I've
mean,
seen like two like I've seen two major matches with him on the podcast so far where he damn near broke the Muda scale, like Royal
yeah,
Rumble, their last man standing match with Triple H, the Survivor Series match,
yeah,
Team Stone Cold versus Team Bischoff, those kind of matches.
yep. And the other thing I liked about this match was like the pin. Like Triple H didn't pin Sean, he collapsed on him. Like the way he
Yeah.
did it was a little over dramatic for my taste, but I did like the fact that he didn't like properly pin him. He was just exhausted and he pins him. So, I mean, like I said, there's a couple things I like about it. It's just there's so much fluff and padding and stuff that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, is this the worst match on the card? Probably not.
No, like I think like something like Eugene Coach was
Yeah.
way worse than this. Because like and I said this on the pre-show before we went live, like it's not a bad match. It's
Yeah.
just kind of boring.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I asked you, like, can I say a match is bad because it was so boring, or is it just like or is it just like really mediocre and boring? You know what I mean? I'm kind of
Hmm.
caught here because like I feel like part of me wants to say this was a bad match, but like the more I think about it and the more I remember it, it's like it wasn't bad. It was just there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just like, does that make like does being just there make you bad than like a really bad match though? Because like at least a really bad match like Eugene and Coachman, I can talk about that. I can
Hmm.
feel things for that. This match, I don't really feel anything for it. It's just like, oh yeah, it's that match. I mean, I guess I feel annoyed that it went 47 fucking minutes, but like in terms of the anything in the match itself, it's just there. So it's weird.
Yeah.
But I mean, is there even really any like benefit of talking like move for move about this match? Because good lord, we'd be here a while.
I mean, not really, because they really do just kind of repeat themselves over again.
Yeah, it's like Sean sets up for the sweet chin music. Triple H dodges it. Triple H sets up for this. Sean sets up for this. Couple chair shots, couple ladder shots. Someone bleeds profusely. I'm pretty much just giving you guys like the general overview of this match from what I remember. And yeah, it really is that boring. I guess the better way to put it is it's so formulaic. Like like
Hmm.
like imagine you're going to an IKEA and like you pick out a seat, like you pick out a cabinet and you're gonna build it. You know what I mean? And you get an instruction manual that says this is how you build that cabinet. I feel like those two were reading an instruction manual of this is how you can have a Hell in a Cell match. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, totally, totally. I mean, it wasn't awful. It was just kind of it was what it was. It was
Yeah.
just really self indulgent and just overlong. And Triple H wins, which I don't know if that's necessarily the right decision since he's the heel, but he
Yeah.
does have a title match with Benoit the next Raw pay per view, so I can see why they did it.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. Like, this is a match where, like, how some matches you'll say it was there or it happened. This is like the epitome of one of those. It was there, it happened.
Hmm.
So, you know, I mean, eh.
So I think that just about does it for this pay-per-view.
Yeah. What'd you think of it?
Um, in terms of an overall pay-per-view, I liked it better than the last year's Bad Blood. But in terms of the matches themselves, I like the matches on Bad Blood 2003 better. At least the good matches that were on Bad Blood 2003, like Nash and Triple H, Goldberg, Jericho, Flair, Michaels. I think those three matches combined were better than anything on this show. But overall, in terms of an actual show, it was a better, more enjoyable show as a whole than that one. So it's sort of like being caught between two places, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, no, I mean, this show was, yeah, you're right. This show was better than Bad Blood 2003 because I remember, like I said, when we started and looking back over this, Christ, that was a bad pay per view. This one, I don't know if I would call it a good show. It was a very average show, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, there were a few good
Mm-hmm.
matches, a couple good matches. I like the opener. I like Orton Benjamin, and I like this women's match. Then there was just a bunch of average stuff and one really bad match. So, I mean, and like the good stuff wasn't, there was no great match on this show, I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well.
I mean, you had
I,
three
I,
good
actually,
matches.
I would actually say Orton Benjamin was a great match, but that's really the only one.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I don't think it reaches great for me. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
good, not quite great, but like, I don't know. This show wasn't terrible. It was easy to watch because it was only like 2.5 hours, and I missed like 10 minutes of it because of like my whole alternative viewing options for the show. That was like, I swear to God, it was such a mess having to watch it. I watched like the first hour of it, then there was parts missing from part 3 that I had to find because they broke it up into like half-hour portions. So then there was all of part 4 that I was able to watch, and then there was no part 5, so I had missed a little bit of. I managed to scrounge together the Eugene match, but I missed the end of the whole the first 10 minutes of Triple H Shawn Michaels. It was a mess, man. I should have just re-upped on the network, but uh, I'll do that next time. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, no, it was fine. It was better than Bad Blood 2003, which was, I think, the last time you had me on, because Christ, it couldn't have been much
I think
worse.
so.
Yeah, but, yeah. So, I mean, it was solid. It was decent enough.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. Like, it was a decent show on its own, but it was nothing too spectacular.
Yeah. I feel like this is a kind of show where if I had gone to a friend's house and they ordered it, I would feel like, yeah, I had a decent time. If I ordered it, I probably would have felt like I didn't get my money's worth.
Yeah, I would say that as well. So I think that just about does it for this show.
Yep. Ugh.
So where can they find you at, Sal?
Well, you guys can find me typically on Twitter at Cusmano_Sal. And like I said at the beginning, I have not, well, Jesus, I have not done a show since August, but I won't call it a comeback because I still have no idea on what basis I'm going to be doing this show going forward. But there will be a show coming up on this Tuesday with special guests MDS and Curtain Jerker Georgia Savas. And, well, we're all soccer fans, and soccer is reaching its halfway point of the season, so we're going to be talking about it. The season that it's been in the Premier League, Champions League, Bundesliga, Serie A, Ligue 1, all the good leagues. So it'll be fun. If any of you guys have even a passing interest in soccer, stop on by. It's a good time.
And you can find me on Twitter at MailMat15, and I also hang out on Kate.C, sing out in the daily and the nightly. In the nightly, I'm doing a Starcade retrospective tonight. Is Starcade 86, which I'll be honest was an underwhelming show. I liked 85 way better, but that's just me.
Was 86 better or worse than Bad Blood 2004?
Um, I would say maybe worse. Maybe I don't know. Like none of the matches really stood out to me personally, aside from Jim Cornette falling off the scaffold
Uh,
and Big Boss Man not being able to catch him.
oh God.
But yeah, next week on the podcast, it will be a new episode. And it will be on the Great American Bash 2004. W decided to bring back an old WCW pay-per-view. And I don't have a guest just yet. I do have one in mind. So, but yeah, next week will be Great American Bash 2004, which features the classic main event, the first ever, and to my knowledge, the only concrete crypt handicap match.
Oh Christ. That sounds like that. Like I said before, with this match, with the main event of this one, this sounds like a match that's either going to be amazing or terrible. And judging how it was the only one, I'm guessing it was terrible.
I think it was too. It was the Undertaker versus the Dudley Boys, and if Undertaker refused to lose the match, Paul Heyman would bury Paul Bearer in concrete.
Christ. Oh, I remember this match. Yes. Oh my God, this match. Oh Christ.
I have no other choice. Rest in peace. Pulls the lever down. And was obviously a stunt man taking it.
Yeah. Yep. Oh Christ, that match. Jesus. That
this was also a show that had JBO and Eddie Guerrero in a Texas Bull Rope match for the title.
Isn't that where Eddie broke the Muda scale?
It might be. They had a match at Judgment Day 2004 that was pretty bloody as well.
Okay, it was one of those.
It was the match where JBL won the title.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be next week on the podcast. That should be very interesting to say the least.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's better than this show.
Yeah. And some of the other podcasts, Shooting the Breeze with Tigers Minion and MDS on Saturday mornings at 11 a.m., 10 a.m. Central, Eastern. Shooting the Breeze, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central. Two Guys, One Sport every Thursday at 9 p.m., 8 p.m. Central with George and Chris. Yeah, it's been a while since I plugged these shows.
I know.
Connoisseurs of Wrestling every Monday at 8 p.m., 7 p.m. Central with Taker's Minion, Biff Kensington, George Estaves, and Legends Lover. What else? Grounds for Development every Thursday morning with Biff Kensington and the Saskatchewan Spin and Nerve Hold, aka 5. Violent Wrestling Podcast with me, Ambrose Alley, and Prince Moxley Lopez every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central. I think we also go live on Tuesdays as well at the same time. And also, a lot of the shows are now on Twitch now. Shooting the Breeze, I know, is under the Los Ingobernables, the podcast channel on Twitch, so definitely check that one out. Oh, and speaking of Los Ingobernables, did you notice that when it came to the nameplates on the show, when they have the names on there, did you notice that the names, that the font that they use for the name bore a striking resemblance to the Los Incarnate Boys logo.
Yes, I did.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. I think MDS came up with that using his graphic design skills.
Nice.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that just about does for this episode.
Yep.
So thank you to Sal Cusmano, the Don Sal Cusmano, for being on. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me. It was a blast.
No problem. It was a good return to form, I would say, because I've been off for a few weeks now. But I would say this was a good return. And next week it will be the Great American Bash 2004.
Yep.
So thank you for being on, Sal.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you all for listening. And I will see you all next time. See ya.